welcome back. And as we had mentioned earlier in the show, the focus of this conversation is a conversation with representatives of the U.S. Naval hospital ship USNS Comfort and a special visit to Belize. Joining us for this conversation is Captain Sam Hancock, the mission commander, and Captain Christine Sears, the medical task force commander. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Well, thank you for taking the time out, because I know you all have been very hard at work in both Independence and Hattieville. And we appreciate you coming in to tell us a bit about how things have been going. So let's just start talking about the USNS Comfort and its mission in this part of the world.
Sure. The Comfort there's one of two hospital ships that the United States has, the Mercy and the Comfort. The Comfort primarily is on the East Coast and does operations aside. Mercy's on the Pacific side. But Continuing Promise is an ongoing mission that we've been, this is actually the sixth full stop or mission year for Continuing Promise coming down, but going to various countries in the region, providing medical, dental, veterinarian, engineering support, and subject matter exchanges with our various partner nations in the region.
Mm-hmm. And you said it's a sixth stop. Where has it been before?
Well, it's the sixth year of CP. Some would say seven. Sequestration in the United States in 2013 prevented the deployment of Comfort. Mm-hmm. We did do some smaller, lower scale engagements without the hospital ship, but this is the sixth year that we've employed with this ship. Mm-hmm. But this is our first stop of 11 this year.
Okay. Now, looking at the type of work that you are offering, or the services that you are offering, let's get Captain Sears to explain just what is this team equipped to handle?
Certainly. So the team on land, such as Hattieville and in Independence, is equipped mostly to provide primary care services. Mm-hmm. So medical, dental, things that you would see in a very robust healthcare clinic, some preventative medicine and things such as that. In addition, they have pharmacy support, laboratory support, so they can do all sorts of point-of-care testing to test for certain diseases right there on the ground in those areas. Simultaneously, we have a surgical mission whereby our partners in the Ministry of Health of Belize, as well as KHMH, have helped pre-select some surgeries for some patients who require surgery that we're able to take onto the ship and do in our operating rooms there. We actually have 12 operating rooms on the USNS Comfort, fully staffed as they would be at any community hospital in the United States. And so we're able to go ahead and perform some surgeries there too. We anticipate that probably about 100 surgeries will be performed during our time here in Belize.
What are the areas that would be covered by those surgeries?
So primarily what we're seeing are gynecology surgeries, such as large fibroid uteri, that are causing some challenges for some women here in Belize, and that has been the bulk of what we've seen. But we've also seen some general surgery in terms of some intestinal surgery. We have cataract surgery, which is available, as well as some urology surgery, kidney stones and things like that. So we do not have neurosurgery capability, nor do we have cardiothoracic surgery ability, but everything else really we have available. We have multiple subspecialists in addition to general surgeons and gynecologists. We have some subspecialists as well. So,
what's a normal tour of duty for one of the ships?
For like the hospital ship Comfort, yeah. She particularly goes on the Continuing Promise missions. That was the last time she deployed, was in 11 for Continuing Promise. She also responded to the Haiti earthquake in 2010. They keep the ship in when she's not on deployment, in a readiness status without the full crew aboard, and then she can ramp up quickly to deploy in a national emergency, or if there's a regional disaster, if help is requested and agreed upon, that she can deploy to support that in fairly short notice. But these deployments, this is a 6-month deployment. Continuing Promise is scheduled every 2 years, so that would be the kind of the normal rotation for the ship. But right now we have over 1,000 crew members aboard, from medical, engineering, ship staff all together. Mm-hmm. When it's in the restricted availability, when it's back home, it has maybe how many? 50 or 60 people just to caretake the ship waiting for the next mission, and then it kind of ramps up before each mission.
So how do you prepare to get everybody, because I'm assuming that everybody works in different locations, so
Absolutely.
Very often you're talking about teams being able to work together. So how do you get everybody to work as one unit?
That is a great question. That is the challenge and the rewarding part of this. We have many teams that come from various commands in the Navy, the Army. We have Air Force and Marine communications folks on board, and the planning for this started well over a year ago. And so the planning begins, and then slowly start bringing members of each of these teams together, and then they all culminated about 2 weeks before we deployed, with everybody coming aboard, and then working together. And then again, I've been incredibly pleased with how well this very large amount of teams have come together here in Belize. This is our first mission stop. It was our first stop, but right out of the gate, things were running. The medical sites, the surgeries on the ships, the engineering sites, people came together extremely well, and to perform the mission. And they all do their own training prior to, and I'll let Chris talk about the medical doctors, but how they come together. But it's been incredible. As the mission commander, it's been a joy to watch everybody come together so quickly and then result with the product that we can help provide here in Belize.
So how do you prioritize, for example, what cases you'll take on?
Right. So there are several things that are very important. The first is we want to be sure that there's adequate follow-on care, so that we do not tackle something that, although our operating rooms are prepared, there are some cases which are complex enough to require a lot of aftercare, whether that's rehabilitative services or something such as that. And so we do tailor the surgeries that we do such that the more complex surgeries are closer to the beginning of the mission, so we can keep the patients on board a little longer, and so that we don't have an inability to do proper rehabilitation. So that is really the first priority, is safety. The second is, do we have the ability to rehabilitate them either during the short period that we're here, or is there locally, exactly, do we have partnerships that are sustainable here in the host nation, in Belize, where we can work through that. And then we tailor things for the specialties we have. We're not doing any neurosurgery, for example. And so then we plan for the more complex surgeries a little earlier in the mission. More brief, straightforward procedures that don't have much of an inpatient stay on the ship will be done later on in the mission stop. So that's really how we do that.
Now, you've been in country since the end of last week, and started with your mission. How has it been going since then? And what are some of the typical cases that you've been seeing, both here in Hattieville and in Independence in the South?
Right, so many issues here on land are primary care issues, such as dermatology issues, some skin problems, and things such as that. So high blood pressure, regular, very, very common health conditions.
Yeah.
So we have found some more interesting issues. There were some folks down south who had a uncommon genetic skin condition that we were able to locate as well, so I'm able to identify. So.
Is there a specific age range that can access the service?
It's really anyone. We have pediatricians, so folks who take care of babies. We have midwives, so we can take care of pregnant women, really just anyone.
Even the elderly?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is there any cost associated with the care that's being provided?
Just their time.
Just their time. And what does a person have to present? Is there a referral system that is necessary, or I can simply just drive to Hattieville after the show and say, I have a particular issue I'd like you to check out?
We're happy to see you. You can drive right over.
So that's it. And to arrive there are some lines. So everybody would set expectations. But once they come through, the docs do an evaluation. We band folks with which particular service they need, and then they'll work their way through the site and get the care.
And another thing I'd like to bring up, if possible, with the surgeries, we've also partnered with the Ministry of Health as well as Carl Huesner Memorial Hospital in advance. So throughout the planning process, ever since last year, we've been working, we sent teams down to work with the Ministry of Health in those hospitals. So the surgery patients, many of them have already been screened, been looked at by the Ministry of Health and by KHMH before even being presented to us.
And it's a real partnership effort, because we have volunteers from here in Belize, a number of youth organizations and ministries are helping us at the sites, just with the populations that come through, to talk with them, helping us with our evaluations and assessments. And additionally, the BDF is helping us provide security just for our boats as we come in and at the sites. So this has all been a big collaborative partnership with the country of Belize and our non-governmental organizations that we have on that are here permanently in Belize, as well as that we've partnered with on the Comfort.
Now, one of the things when you do these missions, what's the hope in terms of as you interact with people?
Well, overall, the mission, the goal of the mission is to build partnerships with each of with Belize and each country that they go to. We all have shared interests and values, and it's to further those to help increase the security. It begins with the population and with the people. So working together with the partnerships we build, as we've talked with the people we're working with and the services we can provide, that helps build and strengthen the communities here, the society, and with our partnership with the United States. And again, looking at a lot of shared common goals, strategically in the region. We have a lot of shared goals, and this helps to contribute toward those for sure.
And in addition, it helps us prepare for a natural disaster or anything that may happen, so that between our governments that we're working with, such as Belize and the United States, our non-governmental organizations such as Project Hope and Latter-day Saints, Operation Smile, this way we're all stronger together. We've already forged those relationships so that if something happens, or when something happens again, an earthquake, a hurricane, something like that, we all know who to reach out to, and we all have practiced together
as well.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
yes ma'am.
I mean, the relationships that we're building here with specific people, they'll be lasting. And there's a number of folks on the mission now that have done previous missions that are returning to Belize and know people here. And so continuing those relationships is really critical.
You mentioned Operation Smile, and I don't want to forget to mention that dental services are also offered at this mission.
Yes, ma'am. So they are there and willing and ready to see folks, and optometry as well.
Oh.
So we've had many people request optometry services. So get new glasses.
So you can get your eyes checked.
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
get your teeth checked. Now, is there a specification as to who qualifies for type of treatment? If I come in and I say, well, I want to get a whitening, that's not a part of your mission.
No,
I'm
ma'am.
sure. I'm sure.
Cosmetic or...
Yeah.
Right. Nothing completely elective such as that. However, we do have a plastic surgeon on board, and so for conditions that are plastic surgery that's not just for appearance but are needed, so that there are some people that need some plastic surgery, and we do have that available as well.
In the dental piece, they're doing cleanings and standard cleanings and fillings and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
I'm mentioning because you don't want people showing up and wanting
Yes.
a new set of teeth.
That's right.
So those are also being offered in addition to the eye checks, the glasses, other services that you'd want people to take advantage of since you were here?
I think really all. So if people would like to bring their families, we are more than happy to take care of them and help.
Now, you talk about the exchange and the human interaction. Obviously, coming to some countries where you may have English, or as in our case, Creole, etc., and you may go to other countries where Spanish or something else is spoken. So how does the team actually handle those nuances in terms of cultural interaction?
That's a great question. This stop is a bit easier for us with the predominant English-speaking folks here, and it makes it easier. But we do have teams of translators that will be going ashore. A number of the service providers and the crew members are also bilingual, so they will be of huge assistance as we go. But we really rely, as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of volunteers from Belize here that actually helped us down south where there were some dialects down there that they were on scene down there to help us out. But we will rely heavily on that on the further mission stops. It will present a challenge as you're trying to describe conditions and have folks get find out what's wrong. But that'll be a critical piece that will rely both on the partner nation to provide volunteers, as well as we do have some translation capability with the teams on board.
One of the things that we have challenges with in Belize has always been that people don't necessarily have family doctors that they have that kind of a history.
A medical history.
So as you come to a new location and you're not necessarily, you don't have access to that family history or the medical history for an individual, how do you treat people given the fact that you may have a walk-in that has certain challenges?
Right, that is very challenging, and so we do communicate as best as possible with the family that is there. So, and do ask them, in various different ways about things in their family history, both their medical history, and then is there anything socially, for example, with mosquito-borne illnesses, is there any standing water in the home, is there any collection of water in the home, and things like that, so that we can get the best story that we can. But you're right, one of the benefits of areas where you do have one physician or several physicians or nurse practitioners taking care of your family for a long period of time is you do get a better long story and a better history, yes. Exactly.
Do you have a referral system in place with local counterparts in the event that there is additional care
Yes,
that is needed?
So we do work that with the Ministry of Health, absolutely, because
Okay.
that is very important. I know in the case of the skin condition that we found, we were able to notify the local authorities and just sort of make sure that is known and that we're working through that. So.
Now, the concern that people may have is showing up and perhaps just wanting to get a checkup. They're not sure if anything is wrong, but they want to take advantage of the services that you are provided. Are they welcomed as well?
Absolutely.
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 I think when they all come in, they get a general screening, blood pressure, temperature, things like that. So something may present there, but absolutely, if you just want to come in and get a checkup, that's definitely, please do come down.
We do have some vitamins available as well. So sometimes if the family is there and the children may be very healthy, but they can still have some vitamins before.
And it runs on a daily basis from what time?
Yes, sir. From about 9 o'clock in the morning to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We do want everyone back. We're going back and forth on little boats, and so we don't want to do that at night. So we would like people back on board the ship before it's dark.
Okay.
So.
And do you have Belizean cooks so you can get some rice and beans before?
Unfortunately, do not. No.
I think people are finding their way out to maybe get some here.
And the location that the clinics are. Let's talk about those.
Okay.
So it's the Hattieville Government School and then Independence High School. And that is where we have the outpatient clinics set up. In addition, the surgical screening was at KHMH. And then we also have subject matter expert exchanges going on throughout the region. So the veterinarians that we have and their technicians have been out to the zoo, and they've had a lot of interactions at the zoo, as well as other hospitals where the nurses are coming to the ship, or our nurses from the ship are going to the hospitals, as well as physicians. Some biomedical repair techs. So we have some specific technicians who work on medical equipment that are available as well.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank the students and the children at both of the schools, because they graciously took a week off this week to let us utilize their classrooms for this. So they got an extended spring vacation.
I think they're thanking you.
Yeah, well.
Just in case. But so 9 till 3 at the Hattieville Government School and also at the Independence High School. Families can go out. You're catering to children, adults, eye care, dental visits, and also an overall checkup. People can definitely take advantage of it. Do you have an average time that it takes to get through, or? It's hard to say.
It's hard to say
Okay.
depending on what you're doing, but I would give yourself a few hours.
Okay.
To go through.
So if you're going to take some time off from work, just know that that's what it's going to take. Maybe a morning off to go in and get a checkup. Excellent. And it continues until Saturday?
Till
Friday.
Friday will be
Okay.
the last full day.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, we want to thank you both for sitting down and speaking with us, and wish you and your entire crew all the best in Belize.
Thank
very
you.
much.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to representatives of Niche and also the brain behind the Carts and Carriers Cycle exhibition. Stay tuned.